Xbox Series X just received a huge performance boost in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and that's all thanks to the latest update. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've got some really good news for all of you that are still playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor, or maybe you haven't really played that game yet. It's actually a good time to play that game now because looks like they finally fixed it. And I'm not necessarily saying that the game was broken per se. So, hey, 4K 30 frames per second mode was still okay if you don't mind playing games in 30, but performance mode was just not there. So like I said, a little bit of a backstory. So that game, by the way, very good game. I played it on PC and had a lot of time, had a lot of fun with it. But even on PC, it wasn't really great. There was a lot of bugs and performance wasn't great either. So that game launched for Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 5 and PC back in May, I think. And it received a lot of praise. I mean, reviews were great because the game is really, really good. Unfortunately, from technical level, it just didn't deliver the goods, right? I mean, graphics is really beautiful. The game looks fantastic. One of the best looking games right now. Unfortunately, performance mode was just not good. Because in performance mode on both Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, you would get anything between like 40 to 60 frames per second, right? So I guess you could live with that kind of performance with VRR on, but that's still not great. And one of the major issues, in my opinion, back then was the fact that they kept ray tracing on in performance mode, which made no sense because let's face it, current gen consoles are too weak to deliver, high resolution 60 frames per second and ray tracing at the same time. I mean, for the most part, there's some exceptions like Spider-Man, for example, but even Spider-Man has to drop resolution almost to like 1080p to deliver that, and that ray tracing, I mean, it takes a hit on visuals too. So something has to give. And on top of that, like that game wasn't just wasn't optimized properly, let's face it, because like even on PC it was just a horribly optimized game. You really needed a very powerful PC to kind of push through the lack of optimization basically. Even on my RTX 3070 I had some stutters and that kind of stuff, right? So it just wasn't, I mean, it was okay experience, but not the best. And now with the latest update, they fixed that. And I did check the patch notes and, voila, they did turn off ray tracing. And I think that's a big factor why this game is 60 now, because I did see some early gameplay analysis from a couple of YouTubers, and looks like this game is pretty much solid 60 frames per second. I'm not sure if it's like locked per se, but I would say that it's 60 for the most part, right? I'm sure there's going to be some frame drops here and there. That happens sometimes, but yeah, I mean, it's now it's actually more than playable, and even without ray tracing, the game still looks fantastic, and it's actually interesting that they announced that they will be making this game for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 too, because I'm not sure if you remember, this game launched as a current gen console only game, so PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles only. Ray tracing was probably part of it, but Xbox Series S didn't have ray tracing, so I'm not really sure why they pushed ray tracing in performance modes on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. But anyway, that's history now. Now we finally got a very well optimized title. Image quality, I don't think there's actually much of a difference. I haven't really seen any comments on that just yet. I would hope that it doesn't really drop the resolution that much. I think it was like 1440p dynamic, so in more demanding scenes, locations, you know, that may be a little bit not necessarily blurry, but it's not going to be as sharp as 4K visuals. This game is using FSR2 anyway, so they use reconstruction technology to improve resolution and stuff. So yeah, anyway, guys, at the end of the day, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is actually a very good game. It launched a couple of months ago. Obviously, you can actually get it pretty cheap. If you don't want to pay because you may actually be busy playing some other games, remember, this is Electronic Arts game, so I would not be surprised if this game going to be available in EA Play pretty soon. So if you consider the fact that this game launched in May, I think it was like 20 something of May. So June, July, August, September. So if we wait around 2 to 2.5 months, I bet that this game is going to be available in EA Play, because a lot of EA games make their way to EA Play after 6 months, like 6 months after release. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with this game, but it makes sense, right? I'm sure that's where it will be. So, but you know what, the game launched like over 3 months ago, so I'm sure we can actually grab a cheap copy of that game anyway. By the way, it's pretty long game. I mean, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was actually a pretty big game. It took me around like 20 hours to beat that game, I think. Obviously, if you want to explore a little bit more, then you have to spend even more time. Survivor is actually even a bigger game. So for those of you that like to explore, now obviously if you focus only on story, you probably can beat that game in around 20-25 hours. But I've heard about people that spent like 40-50 hours in that game and still didn't actually explore everything, because like there's pretty big locations which you can explore for, well, better skins or like some upgrades and XP and that kind of stuff, right? So I mean, I did enjoy the first game. I did beat that game on both Xbox and PC. Not this one, not Survivor, but Jedi Fallen Order. I did beat that game on Xbox One X at the time, and PC actually this year. And yeah, so I'm not sure. I may actually wait for EA Play, or we'll see if I find a good deal for that game somewhere on like iniba.com or something like that. Maybe I'll buy this game. But I have to beat Starfield, and also there's some other games going to be coming pretty soon, so I guess I'll be busy, so I may as well just wait right now. And that's the problem with some of these games, right? Like, if you don't deliver these performance modes at the very beginning, I guess it just makes no sense, right? So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.